everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really fun video where I'm just going to be sitting down and talking about 10 books that I want to read before the end of the year. So some of these are rereads, some of them are just books that I've been putting off, and I'm definitely going to try my hardest to read them in either November or December. I know we are less than 3 months away now. When I'm filming this, it's the middle of October. So we are less than 3 months away from 2024, which when 2024 comes, I'm going to have a new set of books that I probably want to read. So I definitely want to get to these books before the end of the year. These are 10 books I want to read. I will be doing a video on 5 books that you should read before the end of the year, just 5 books that I've read this year and that have released this year that I think before the end of the year you definitely should get to. So with all that being said, let's just go ahead and dive in. So I'm going to start with 2 of my rereads that I really want to do. The first one is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I read this I think when this book came out, once this really started blowing up. And ever since this book came out, I've been dying to do a reread. I just had the best time with this. I'm actually wearing my Fourth Wing sweatshirt that I got for my birthday. It says, "I am the sky and the power of every storm." So that's what my sweatshirt says at the very bottom. It has like a really cool back. But yeah, I've been wanting to reread this, as well as the second book that I want to read before the end of the year, which is Iron Flame. The picture right here. This book comes out November 7th. I definitely want to reread this before Iron Flame comes out. There also has another special edition that's kind of coming out. It has black sprayed edges, all black sprayed edges, with a red cover, Fourth Wing, I guess to match Iron Flame. I don't know. I pre-ordered that one, so I probably will go through and highlight this one. I usually don't do that with special editions, but I did physically read this the first time I read it. So yeah, this is going to be another annotated copy that I have on my shelf, and I'm very excited for. So yeah, I just really want to read this, as well as Iron Flame. So I know a lot of people have this on their TBR before the end of the year, so I know I'm not the only one, but reread with this new release. That's the first 2 books I want to talk about. Another reread I want to do is probably going to be in December, more likely in December, and that's Crescent City 1 or House of Earth and Blood. I have not reread these books since they've come out. I don't think I've reread this one. I really don't think so, but I bought these Barnes & Noble exclusive editions, which are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. They're just paperbacks, and the paper is actually a lot thicker in these, in this book, compared to the original hardback that I have. So I bought these to annotate them because a lot of stuff has happened after reading the second book in this series, which is House of Sky and Breath. There's a lot of things that came out in that book that I have not reread this book, and I want to see how much foreshadowing is in this book. I know there's going to be a lot because SJM loves to throw in foreshadowing and little tidbits, so I'm excited to annotate this. I probably will listen to the audio while I physically read along with it, but yeah, this is a very thick book. This copy in particular is over 800 pages, but I feel like the pages are a lot thicker, so I had to just find the right highlighters that won't bleed through. I do have some that I hope won't bleed through, but I'm dying to read this one. And then in January, I'll reread House of Sky and Breath, because on the 30th of January is when the 3rd book comes out. So yeah, this is just on my to-do for the end of the year that I really want to reread. I've been dying to reread it because I don't think I've reread this one since they came out. So all of these books are books that I definitely want to read before the end of the year, and these are not going to be rereads or anything like that. First one is Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone. I put this on my October TBR and I did not get to it. I'm pretty sure I won't get to it, just with so many new releases that I've wanted to read in October. This one kind of got pushed to the wayside, but I know I'm going to love this. I did read Salt in the Wound this year, so I definitely want to get caught up with this series. I've heard very, very good things. This is a continuation. It's also a Tristan and Isolde retelling with a little bit of a twist that only Sierra Simone knows how to do. So Salt Kiss is one that I'm extremely excited for, because I read Salt in the Wound this year. So I'm dying to read this, so this is definitely a priority for me. Hopefully in November, I do want to get the audio for this. I'm waiting for either my library or Hoopla to have the audio. I hope they get it. I don't think it's exclusive to Audible, but I may have to use a credit, but I'm really dying to dive into this one. Just got pushed a little bit farther down on my TBR with so many new releases that are coming out. The next one I want to read is King of Pride by Anna Huang. So this is actually Anna Huang's only book that I have not read. She has that first series that she first published. I have not read that, but I've read all of the Twisted series, and I'm so far caught up with all of the books in this Sen series, Kings of Sen series, I think it's called. Yeah, Kings of Sen. So book 2 is one that I haven't read. I started reading it and I kind of put it to the side. I was only like 1 or 2 chapters in, so I barely even gave it the chance, but I just like wasn't really in the mood for that at that moment. But I've heard that a lot of people love Kai, which is the hero in this book. So I'm really interested. I know he's a billionaire, you know, I know all that. And he's very like quiet. He wears glasses, I think. But then the female character, she is very like impulsive, full of life, kind of the complete opposite of Kai, which I do like those kind of books where the characters are complete opposites. It makes for their romance to be absolutely amazing. So I'm very interested in this one. Yeah, I definitely want to get to this one before the end of the year to be caught up with the series. The next book I want to read is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. So this book is the third book in the Love Light Farm series or Love Light series. I'm actually doing a read along of this whole series starting now in October. But our live show is only going to be exclusive to my patrons because they picked this series for us to read for the end of the year. So basically every 2 or 3 months, I will pick a series, or I'll give my patrons an option of 5 different series and they will vote on the one that they want to read the most, and the highest voted one will win, and Love Light won. So I have read books 1 and 2 in this series already, but I'm dying to read book 3. This series gets better and better and better, and I loved In the Weeds. In the Weeds was one of the first books I read this year that I gave 5 stars, so I'm very excited to read Mixed Signals. I've heard very, very, very good things. And I think her next book is actually coming out March of next year. It got picked up by Berkeley, so the next book is coming out, I think, in March. I'm very excited for B.K. Borison. She's doing amazing things, and I want to get caught up. Another book I want to read is Autumn Nights by Willow Astor. So I picked this up in Chicago when I went to Wild and Windy in Chicago. I think in May I went. And I had her sign this, and I think the audio just came out for this, which I'm very excited for when authors release an audiobook to go along with a book, because I'm primarily an audio reader. Most of the time I do read a lot of audios, so I'm very excited. I also know that this has a deaf character in here. The author's note says she had 4 sensitivity readers that helped her with a deaf character who is centralized to the story. I think this is a single dad maybe, or a single mom. It's a single parent. He's a football star and he's a single dad, and his daughter is the one who's deaf. So I'm very excited. I always love that kind of representation in books, especially when they have a child that's like that, and then they kind of have this like all around good story with all of the characters, with them too as being the adults, and then the child that's also an intricate part of the story for any single parent romance. So very excited to get to this one. I've never read Willow Astor, so I'm very excited to see what this one's all about. The next one I want to read is a chunker. It is a chunker, but the first book ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm dying to read this, and that is Fallen Stars by Imani Iru. This is a over 700 page book. It is very, very thick. The first book was thick, but this is even thicker. So this is the continuation of Alara and Enzo's story. I'm very excited because I think that the way that this author wrote this story, it takes a very interesting turn with a lot of like mythology mixed in with a lot of fantastical elements. And I personally really love that. I'm a huge fan of any kind of mythology, any mythological retelling too. So I think that the way that she blended kind of this very interesting way of gods, her own fantasy world, with the mythological retelling, the way the story is, the way the characters are, the soulmate connection that the two characters have, it's made for a very good series for me. So it's one of these books where I want to pick it up like right now, but I'm also sad because it's going to be the end of these 2 characters and I've just gotten really attached to them. So I'm like, I've been putting it off until I'm in the mood to like really savor it and like sit with it. So this will be a fun book for me to read. I'm going to have to read this physically if I don't get the ebook, but you have to buy the ebook. So the first book of this is in Kindle Unlimited. I don't think this one is. I don't know if they plan on putting it in Kindle Unlimited, but either way, I definitely want to read this before the end of the year because that fantasy romance, the first book, has become one of my favorites. This next one is a billionaire romance that I want to read, and that is Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton. So I was actually sent this in PR, which I was not expecting in the slightest. I was not expecting a PR package from Kat Singleton, so when it showed up, I was thoroughly surprised. It came with a couple art prints, and those art prints are what really is making me want to read this book so badly. It's a billionaire romance, and he's gone to this super small town. He apparently just opened a fancy art gallery next door to her bakery. So I know she's a baker. It does come with these 2 overlays that are in here. I don't know if you can see them, but they're not specifically with any pages. So I'm interested to read the book to see where those overlays go. I do like the formatting that they did. Apparently this is actually like a couple. It's the same couple on the inside and the outside, which I found really cute. Yeah, I'm just really interested in Kat Singleton's writing. I read Black Ties and White Lies, and I did enjoy it, so I'm interested to see what her small town is with billionaires, because I'm a billionaire whore. I love them. So, and the last book I definitely want to read is Stars in Your Eyes by Kaysen Callender. I did pronounce their name wrong previously. I read it wrong when I was sitting here with it, but this is an MM kind of celebrity romance where both of them are celebrities. One is a celebrity bad boy, and the other one is like up and coming celebrity in LA. So I'm very excited for this. This was sent to me from forever, and I had the ALs through Libro FM, so I'm very excited to have the hardback to go with it. I am extremely excited for this. This is another one where the kind of spooky and more atmospheric fall books have taken precedent this October, but this is definitely going on either my November or December TBR because I'm dying to read these. So if I can get to this before the end of October, fantastic, especially some of these other books that I want to read, but I don't see that being possible. But either way, it's definitely on my end of the year TBR because I definitely want to read this one. Those are just 10 books that I definitely want to read before the end of the year. I'm most likely going to read more than these 10 books, but these are ones that are definitely on my radar, definitely going to be in some future TBR videos. So you can let me know a book in the comments down below that you are really excited to read before the end of the year yourself. It could be one of these, it could be a totally different book, but I'm extremely excited for these. For the emoji for today's video, drop me this emoji in the comments down below just because can't think of one off the top of my head, but yeah, drop this emoji. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.